I did a video this morning for you guys, and I went to start loading it, which I hate doing because I gotta load it on my mobile data. And one of these days I'm gonna go over it, which is, if you've ever done that, it's very frustrating. I started getting questions from people. Why is it no free lunch in? Why isn't collector in? So I had reached out to Stacy. I got another message from Megan, gonna give Texong Soprano 3 weeks off, just as we did Looks Like Money, just as we did Spitfire Overseas. But again, hadn't talked about them very often. These are kind of important updates. We're battling a tiny bit of sickness in the barn right now. None of this was mentioned in the video this morning. So it seemed kind of wasteful, right? Realistically, I talked about Militant last night, how well he raced, how pleased I was with his effort, how that probably puts him on the bus to Kentucky when the Goldenrod Series starts, and how impressed I was and how interesting it was to watch a horse turn around. You know, we talk about the right horse in the right class and how important it is, how sometimes we move horses out that don't seem to have the right class. We had just sold Blanton's Blue 2 days ago, yesterday actually, for that very reason. When I looked at the big picture of the paths available for him, how he would do in all of them, sure, he looks like a winner in some of them. My argument to everybody, and I said this in the video, was if those paths narrow even more and he can't do in the avenues that are left, now we're just left with a horse that can compete, not competitively. Now you're scrambling around trying to find a class, much like we did with a couple of horses last year. I'm trying to avoid those same scenarios, right? And sure, there's going to be horses fall through the cracks. I get emails all the time. Hey, did you see this horse race? Did you see that horse race? That horse won. This horse won 2 in a row or 3 in a row since it left the barn. I get it. There's going to be horses go forward when they leave the barn. There has to be, right? You can't race horses competitively all over North America, race against some of the best trainers in the world, and not have horses go forward when they leave your barn sometimes. The fact that they don't often, I think, is a feather in all our caps. All our trainers, all our caretakers, everybody. So thoroughly pleased with the way Militant raced last night. It's not just that he's winning, he's having fun, and he's beating up on horses. I love, you guys hear me say this all the time, I love the merciless victories where they have the earplugs in, they're wrapped up, and they're still looking to come forward. You don't see it that often. Those dominant performances. And horses swell up off those, right? That's 4 wins in a row for a horse that was lost at the start of the season. So it can happen. They can come back to life. You just have to find a spot for them. So thoroughly pleased with Militant, mud or otherwise. He raced great last night. I got up this morning, wanted to go to the barn now. Admittedly, the track was a little muddy, so I didn't go with any. The only horse I wanted to go with, truthfully, that I had to go with was Melisandre. I wanted to see how she was off her training mile yesterday. Looked great. Joe Cramp jogged her. She looked great on the track. She was out there playing and having fun. The fillies train great. Now, one omission. We did not train Aunt Lily today. Not really what you'd call a temperature, 100.7. Didn't come off her feed, but did have some mucus. And there is a little coughing in the burn. So we opted for one more day of treatment. Some jugs, some antibiotics for her. Maybe, if she feels good in the morning, a light training trip. Everybody else seemed good, but there is something going around. I see a lot of it. If you're paying attention, I never noticed until today. A lot of scratches on the boards, right? Horses scratched out of the Next Generation last week. Horses scratched out of overnights. A number of them last night. Now you can say, well, you know, if you got the 8-hole in the rain, you're more apt to scratch. It's possible. But the vets did confirm today that there's a ton of sickness around, and not just here, everywhere. And this is what you get this time of year, right? You get the heat, you get the allergies, you're gonna get some sickness. So the most important thing is to recognize it. For the love of God, don't train them when they're sick or when they're under the weather. That can really cost you the season, quite frankly. By the time you get them back around, the other horses have already grown up, matured even more. Now they're going faster. Now they're tougher, more durable, and you're left flat-footed. So you really, really have to pay attention. And this hinges on Rosa and AJ tomorrow. Still coughed a couple of times today. Are we really going to ship him 2 hours to race in the Buckeye Stakes tomorrow? First start on Lasix? Not if he's not healthy. I can tell you right now, the SAA test was a little bit high this morning. Probably going to do another one on him before he goes anywhere tomorrow. And I would say there is a chance he may be scratched. And I'm sure all my partners, Marco and everybody, doesn't want to hear that. The last thing you want to see is a subpar performance in a Buckeye steak race because he was sick. And the last thing you want to do, here's a horse just going on Lasix because he showed a little blood last week, and you're going to race him when he's not 100%. Long season, lots going on, and I would say there is a chance that you're going to see Rosa and AJ scratched on Friday night. Now, is there a chance Aunt Lily be scratched Sunday? I'd say a much less chance. You got a full 48 hours more. She's not as sick. Doesn't exhibit any of the more severe signs that AJ did earlier on in the week, mucus, coughing. He does have an ulcer on his palate, which you could convince me that that coughing that you hear is more or less that ulcer on his palate. Now, if we can get that SAA test down a little bit tomorrow and his blood panels come back okay and he feels good and he eats his breakfast, well then okay, we're talking about a different scenario. But that'll be tomorrow. That'll be a decision for tomorrow. Sox is good, so he's going. So those horses, the fillies, all trained good today. Jason said he was pleased with Oh Hill No. I kind of did want to go with her, but if I had showed up there and it was a swamp, I might have called an audible anyway. Jason knows all three of those fillies very well. He spent lots of time training, and Jason Merriman. I mean, Jason McGinnis tweaked his back. The poor bugger. You know, I know I don't often hurt my back, and I don't know how well I conveyed it when I did hurt my back. About 3 weeks ago when I had my back shocked. I'm going to tell you one thing. I hope Jason gets his back shocked. It seems like it's in the same area, actually bigger. And I think he's prone to having a sore back anyway. The poor bugger tweaked it. I felt so bad for him last night. You can hear it in his voice. You know, when you talk to somebody, you know, you can hear it in his voice. So I hope he gets better soon. So Jason Merriman has sat behind all three of those fillies plenty of times. Possibly more than I have. And knows them all very well. He said they all trained well this morning. Aunt Lily did not train. As I said, she's going to possibly train tomorrow morning. Most important is to make sure she's healthy for Sunday night. But it is going around. It is going around. So I left Northfield optimistic about Sunday, less optimistic about tomorrow, but that's, as I said, that's an issue for tomorrow. Got over here. You know, I'm looking at the program. I'm hopeful. Short field is Serious Dragon going to do good in his short field. The horses he's in with look better than he does on paper. I don't really know what's going to happen here. A couple of horses up a class. A couple don't leave well. One or two do. I know by the time they say go, I'm probably going to wind them up. Green Glitter, how would she be today? We changed things up with her today. I'll talk about that. But first was Country Dancing. I just thought she's a lock. She probably can't lose. So why put her on the front and expose her? Because she shouldn't lose from wherever she is. This was my thinking. And if she does lose, better not to have her exposed on the front end again. Which is exactly what happened. She didn't feel super sharp in the post parade. Scoped with a little bit of mucus, a couple of flecks of blood. But that's, again, when you're dealing with the heart of allergy season and the heat. And sprinkle in some mucus. Doesn't take a whole lot to spring a leak for a baby. You guys hear it all the time. You hear me talk about it. Somebody said, you seem to have a lot of horses that bleed. No, we seem to investigate a lot of horses and find out that some of them do bleed. I would say we scope as many or more horses than most stables, I would think. I don't want to be presumptuous and say, oh, we do it more than anyone. No, but we do it a lot. And it allows us an opportunity to see how things unfold and compare them to other situations and how we treated those horses and how that worked out. So I wasn't surprised with the scope. She was on the left line pretty hard, a little rickety in the turns. That had nothing to do with her airway. So I talked to Dr. Brown and Dr. Latessa after the race and said, listen, we have 10 days till the stake race. I don't care about today. You know, it's an okay mile with horses that she should have been beat by. 56-4, 28-4 on the end of it. Last half, 57 apiece. Those aren't horrible fractions or a horrible mile on paper. But we expect more. If I didn't know this horse, I'd say let her hobbles out, lighten them up, get some vet work done on her, work on her feet. But I do know her. We've done this before. And this is going to be a process. She's already got a second in the Stallion Series. She's going to be competitive. And if we don't hurt her throughout the summer, we'll probably have a Bearcat of a filly into the fall. That's the plan. Have her as good as we can have her all summer. Focus on Kentucky. We do have her paid into some races in Kentucky. And don't forget, she's paid into the biggest races of all at the end of the year. So today, my partners, I know a couple of you guys were in the grandstand today and probably hung your head, maybe kicked some rocks on the way to your car. Keep in mind, today was a meaningless race. It was one piece of a gigantic puzzle of a 2-year-old filly. She didn't get hurt. She raced as good as she could. She fought to the wire. And we have a lot to work on. And we're going to work on it. And that was my take from Country Dancing. Now, you know, with Green Glitter, super pacey last week, really agitated in the warm-up. I'd said to Tim, you know what? I don't want to go a mile with her today. She just gets wound up and hot. I said, let's just jog her in an open bridle. Now, I told them I'd go with her because I know that Green Glitter has never worn an open bridle in her life. And for those of you that are horsemen out there, you know what happens sometimes when you put an open bridle on a young, rambunctious horse for the first time. Might be game on. Might take to kicking. But I wanted to just let her relax. Have some fun on the track. Because she is a likable horse, but she does have a little mean streak in her once in a while. So I said to Dean and Tim, I'll jog her. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, wreck somebody's jog cart. If something's going to get broke, it's going to be under my watch, not somebody else's. So I jogged her. Sweet as a kitten today. Quiet, playful, didn't get excited or wound up, but very pacey going up to the gate. Now, my brother's down to drive her in Philadelphia, and I would love to say, I'm going to fly in and drive her myself. There's a part of me that wants to. But I got a lot of respect for my brother, too. He's got a great set of hands. He's very, very good with young trotters also. Well, he's very good with every horse. Really good with young trotters also. And I think I can explain to him, you can put her on the gate, but I'd rather you not. Just keep her stress level down. Keep her on a helmet. Race her for a quarter of a mile. She's coming forward, but she also feels like a horse that can retreat very quickly if you hurt her or bothered her or angered her. She can leave like a thoroughbred. She doesn't have that bullish power that she had in the qualifiers, but that might not be a bad thing. That may be spread over a mile now. It was a good mile today. Last half at 57 last week. Today, I didn't check her actual lines today, which I probably should have. I saw Country Dancing's. I saw Series of Dragons, but I did not see our big girl. Now, here it is here. Green Glitter. 2 beat 3/4 of a length. 59, 29 on the end of it. Last half and 58 apiece. Last half and 58 and 4. No, 58 and 3, too. Good mile. A good mile for her. The way she did it was good. She finished up good. Lacking that eye of the tiger, that aggressiveness that she had before. But I have to believe when I see these horses race, and she's sound, right? Not on a line, trotting, for her, trotting good. But just a hair weaker than you thought you'd have. A little less power than you thought you'd have. I have to look to the allergies every time. I've gone with enough of these 2-year-olds this time of year to know that it plays a major role. You know, we get a horse right now. Our client, my partners are asking me, the priest, where's the priest? We've scoped him 4 times in the last 2 weeks, and all 4 times we scoped him, he was jam-packed full of mucus. All 4. No blood, just mucus. I know where it comes from. So I have a call into Dr. Latessa to discuss not just Country Dancing, but the priest also. What are we going to do with this guy? How are we going to get him cleaned up? He may be one of those very rare horses that can't function for that month period of July where it's just stinking hot and allergies are everywhere. Now he's an Indiana bred. I gotta look at where he was born. Oh, he was definitely born in Indiana, right? I think he was. Maybe we just got to get him out of Northfield. It's a possibility too. So I was saying to one of my partners today, Marco had said to me, he said, you know, it's a great class for him in Indiana. Well, it would be on paper, there's a great class, but we don't get to race paper. We have to race horses. And right now, he's not at his very best. How do we get him there? draw blood, do an SAA test, see if that's actual sickness or if it's allergies. If it comes back low and we know it's allergies, be aggressive. Get him cleaned up. Get a couple of good miles into him, and then we can talk about where we're going to send him. It's a slower process, it is, but I can assure you, if we just send him somewhere and race him, pretend he's fine, he is going to get smashed. And everybody's going to be like, what happened to the priest? Well, I'm telling you, be careful. We have to be careful with this horse. We don't want to put him in a situation to be sour and be a coward. You know, you can really, it's really detrimental to a young horse to do that. So we're going to be careful. Now, as I said, Texan Soprano got a 3-week vacation starting last week. I believe 3-4 weeks. That's what Megan wanted to do and bring him back. I agree 100%. That's exactly what we just did with Looks Like Money. And I believe Spitfire is due to come back in a week or so on his vacation. Just a little break in this heat. There's nothing wrong with that. These are 3 quality horses that are going to do a lot of good for the stable down the road. And the fall is a much better place to race horses like that than the summer, I can assure you that. So I was happy to hear from Megan. The only disappointing news I got last night was from Mark Weaver texted me and said, hey, I hope you don't mind, but we're going to put Renegade Gypsy on gate. You know, we worked hard to work out an agreement where some of our clients that loved Renegade Gypsy could stay involved, but it would be on the terms of Ron Burke and his stable. We would not be operating, we would not be the managing, controlling partners, nor did I want to be. I just wanted to be able to have a place where we could race the horse and our clients be happy. But when we talk about allergies and sore feet, he's top of the list. I've heard twice now in the last 3-4 weeks that he had a quarter crack, his feet were bothering him, understandable, and I know he's terrible this time of year. His allergies act up. So he is on gate. You know, what will he go for? I don't know. I'll be watching. We'll see what happens. But when it comes to Renegade Gypsy, I knew it would be a little frustrating. You know, I went through it at the start of the week with Blanton's Blue, and you know I get the emails, and you know, people seem to think that maybe I'm a robot and I don't care, but I do. It bothers me when our clients are upset, but I would hope that everybody, just as I said to one of our clients, just walk a mile in my shoes, right? Trying to, you know, appease everybody, all 900 clients or whatever we have, and all our partners and every single horse. It's just impossible to do. My job is to make sure at the end of the day I do what I think is right for our clients. That's my job. And I treat everybody's horses and everybody's money like it's mine. That's how I sleep at night. And Blanton's Blue, I thought was a right move to move him on. And Renegade Gypsy, I kind of knew that this call was coming. The way he was racing, I suspected it was coming. So we'll see what comes of the sale with Renegade Gypsy moving forward. So we got the horses in Ohio. Just didn't get in this week. With all the stakes down there this week, the races were pushed and changed around. No free lunch, and Collector S did not get in. You guys can see they just didn't get in. Right? The class didn't go, or they didn't get in. It's not the end of the world. They'll be in next week, and I know everybody's like, "Well, that's 2 weeks in a row." All right, no free lunch is not the soundest horse in the world, and a little 2-week reprieve is not going to be bad for him. Collector has raced hard all year long. Not a big deal for him too. They cannot race every single week. We could try to race them every week, but at the end of the year, you're going to have one horse going to be tired, one horse going to be a lot more fresh, one's going to have less money made than the other, and I'll leave you to figure out which one's which. So happy with the way things went today. Happy with the way, obviously, I've been praising the way that things have gone all summer long. I'm thoroughly pleased with everything. I don't think I can be any more happy than I am right now. Right? You take the greedy owner away from you and me and everybody else, because we all have it. I have it too. You take that greedy owner away, and what you're left with is pretty happy partner, that's for sure. Now tomorrow, one more time, through the top of the list. Friday, Arrowhead, Hanover, Manhattan Money. Excited to race them. Interested to see Drebin race tomorrow also. How is Drebin racing at 6:10? He's not racing at 6:10 at Mohawk. This would be 7:10, so that's incorrect. JK Victory races tomorrow, ready for landing. We'll have a lot of fun tomorrow in the Meadows, I hope. 2 Colts racing. We get the 2 Colts racing tomorrow. We have Ready for Landing, 3-Point Blue Chip before they get done. JK Victory. Then we have Century Legion also racing tomorrow. Dancing on My Socks and a question mark beside Rose Run AJ. Saturday, another big day at the office. We blew Ventura. Somebody said, why didn't we enter him in the pop-up series? We did. They didn't go, right? And that's simply because of poor scheduling, to be honest. And I'm sorry if anybody gets offended from that. But when you schedule stake races at the same time as a pop-up series with the vast majority of PA horses in it, it's not going to fill, right? Didn't for the Trot Fillies, didn't for the Payson Colts. It's not going to. So I think just maybe take a look at the calendar a little quicker, and we'll be able to formulate a better plan. But Blue Ventura, Maiden is fine. He's got the 7-hole. Not a big deal with him. We're going to test out some new shoes with him on Saturday, so interested to see how that plays. Those very same new shoes will be on Time Is On My Side also. This is a prep for a very, 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 very big race. One of the biggest on our calendars thus far for sure is the Adios. Can he do? Is Arson coming? I don't know yet. We don't know. We'll know more this week. Kings County should be a lot of fun to race also. Tactical Mounds, I was wondering when I see the big girl's name pop back up. 7-2 in the Miss Versatility, and that is, I assume, is at the Meadowlands. It is. The Meadowlands, so good luck to everybody with Moundsy. And then Dominion. 4-1, much better spot for Dominion, starting out Saturday at, I assume that's Georgian Downs. What else do we got here? Sunday. Oh my God, we have a gabillion horses here. Don't talk about Bruno. Then we have all the Kentucky contingent. Grand Slam Dio. Peter Wren is going to drive her this week. Gymboree, Memory and Imagination, Pickpocket, Arson, Westland, Warrior, and Memento Mori. And then combine that with some Sire Stake racing at Northfield Park for us also. Oh, he'll know. That's right. She's in 4-1, by the way, in the Sire Stakes. Aunt Lily, Freedom Hill, Greatest Ending pick to win again. Going to get a similar drive for Greatest Ending on Sunday night. And Stay Close will round it out. Should be an exceptionally fun Sunday. And then Monday, thus far, the ones that I can see anyway, My Wicked Heart, All Gas, No Brakes, Yo Mister, and Brace for Landing. They're missing our fillies because I saw the draw. Gorgeous package, Foxy, Seaside, and Our Girl is going to make her long-awaited debut, Rose Run Alexandra. So should be a lot of fun for the rest of the week, into the weekend to start the week. Lots of racing, lots of stakes, lots of horses going behind the gate at thestable.ca. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. It was a good day for my partners in country dancing. Relax. Not a big deal. She'll be fine. Lots to work on with her. And the main goal is to have her great throughout the season. Not a great start for us with her today, but not a horrible start. And I'm sure she'll be better next time out. So with that, I'll let you go. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day.